Greetings and welcome to a Monday edition of the Shotgun Start. It is March 9th. Andy, how we doing?
Brendan, I'm doing all right. I gotta say, I'm constantly reminded that in society we can't have nice things.
What's the problem? We had a nice golf tournament this evening, I think.
We got a good tournament, but it was missing one thing, one big thing that it was missing.
What?
The TPC Sawgrass arrival videos. I feel a void. I feel a big void in my life not getting the Sunday TPC Sawgrass arrival videos during my Bay Hill viewing.
I think I was checking the weather just for my flights and stuff. I think it was thunderstorming there tonight, maybe. I think maybe they've already announced preferred lives for Thursday. Who knows? Just a nice little dollop of water on Sunday night for it.
They're probably at max capacity, making sure it's emerald green.
Yeah, that is, they still disrespected the legacy of Mr. Palmer by announcing featured groups during play Sunday. What's the potential for, Rory's in there. Rory WD Saturday morning, I guess it was. Who knows? Seems like he walked out of there thumbs up to Shoot Pack and others about we'll be fine. But if he WDs, I need just like absolute king mule sliding into that featured group. If he WDs last second on featured groups,
who would be your best case scenario?
Like Ryan Brem, but he can't be within miles of the field. I would just guess. Who would be your best case scenario? It's hard.
Lanto. Lanto's up there. Ryan Armour, the namesake, the logo.
Ryan Armour's out there beating guys up on the Champs Tour now. Immediately goes to the Champs Tour and makes hay. Not quite as much hay as Zach. But, yeah.
Do you think he's a mule? He's a mule on the Champs Tour if he was a mule on the PGA Tour?
No. There's no such thing as Champs Tour mules, from what especially if you were just like playing real PGA Tour events. It seems like, he of course is the godfather. He coined the term mule at this very event, at the Players Championship now, whatever it was 3 years ago.
We need to make him the logo. There needs to be a mule's logo, and it's his silhouette just for. It'd be perfect too. Everybody be like, whose silhouette is that? You're never going to guess.
You don't know that? It's not Jerry West. It's Ryan Armour, obviously.
The logo.
The logo. It's Xander, Rory, and Hideki, our featured group. I can't believe we're talking about this, but you brought up the arrival videos. The guys pulling down the $17 million driveway of TPC Sawgrass or whatever it was. You could have Xander, let's call it Lanto, and Hideki come Thursday morning. But the other one, not exactly fair, if I'm going to be honest, to Justin Thomas, who was struggling this week, and rightfully so. They're sending him out there with Fleetwood and Scheffler, two of the three best players in the world the last 6 months, year plus. And JT, I don't know, can he break 75 right now? He's just going to be in the spotlight taking a beating.
He just started long tossing. He's a pitcher coming back rehab. He just started long tossing, and this is the Tour's World Series, and they threw him out there in Game 2. It was a Game 2 starter.
That is, I can't figure out this World Baseball Classic. People are into it. It's confusing, but aren't these guys just coming right out of the bar? It's March, they've been eating wings and beer all. I know they're real professional athletes, but if you want peak performance, why are they doing it in March? Similar to what you're talking about with JT.
Well, when would you do it then?
I don't know. I just don't think you need to make it a thing, but I get it. They're trying to make it global. So go ahead.
Recently told me that the worst type of person is somebody that brings problems to the table, but with no solution.
I would just say get rid of it. Get rid of it.
It's honestly just getting rid of something's always like a underrated good decision.
Why do we have to do this? Yeah. Anyways, JT.
Isn't that what the Olympics are for?
Well, you'd think with what hockey just got from the Olympics that you would want to send your best major leaguers for 2 weeks in August or July, whenever they do the Olympics, to LA. I don't know. I can't believe we're talking about this.
What
JT.
a week for Puerto Rico, though.
Yeah.
PR Open, honestly. So, I do on Saturdays, look behind the curtain. Saturday's a day, unless it's a major championship, is devoted to family, and because Sundays are devoted to work. You can't, you don't give away 2 weekend days. It's just kind of rule of thumb in my house. But Saturday nights for me is always I turn on the DVR,
catch up,
and I always go to the DVR. And last night I couldn't believe this. I went to the PR Open before the Bay Hill on the DVR.
Just curious about the young bucks.
Blades.
Yep.
John Daly Jr., John Daly II.
JD2.
I'm a huge Ricky Castillo fan. I've been a super fan since I caddied in the same group as his at a Western Am when he was 15 and shot like 67. I was like, geez, this kid's got game. But just because of the collection of young guns, I went Puerto Rico before Bay Hill, and I wanted to make a point here. Everybody's like gloom and doom about the scarcity schedule. Oh, this is going to be bad. You're taking away golf. The Puerto Rico Open this week was awesome. Like scintillating. It was must-see TV. And the Puerto Rico Open, if you take it and take out all the junk at the bottom of the board and fill it with Korn Ferry Tour players, those are legitimately great events. It's young players. It would be relegated big name PGA Tour players if you get rid of exemptions. Guys like Jordan Spieth might be down there. Ricky Fowler a couple years ago. JT a couple years ago but you'd have guys like that down trying to play their way up. Adam Scott would be like an example of a guy that had to play his way up this year. Young players, and then the best Korn Ferry Tour players playing for, jobs next year. That tournament was awesome.
It was probably it is precisely what you'd want if you're having this additional event or opposite field, whatever the term is. Just get the youngest guy. Sargent playing well for the first time in a while. David Ford had a top 15. Like just guys making hay. That we have like 17 leaderboards to go over from the weekend. We have DP World Tour, we have the KFT Tour, we have Puerto Rico Open, we have LIV, we have PGA Tour twice. Just a lot of events. Could we consolidate some of those between LIV, South African Open, to Puerto Rico, Chile at KFT? Just seems like a lot spread far and wide. So yeah, it's a decent point, and then just make Bay Hill or whatever scarcity elite, and then create a bunch of 4A kind of rising stars events, and that's what you kind of had at PR, but you feel like you could have made it deeper or more consolidated in the second half of the field. So yeah,
if you just fix the bottom 25, 30 guys in that field, it's an awesome event. Especially if you could get Hennie Duplessis over. The hottest player in the world, not named Casey Jarvis, is Hennie Duplessis.
I mean, he's the hottest player in the world for about 65 holes. Poor Hennie Duplessis shoots 39 coming in, double, just spits the bit. He had it in his hand. The Joburg Open, not South Africa. He had it. Then he just opens the door for Dan Bradbury. And this is 3 weeks.
Fahrenheit 451. You don't let Dan Bradbury get burning.
I mean, he was like, Hennie kind of gave it to us. We were all down like 6. He goes double. He just abdicates his spot, Hennie Duplessis. I don't know how many podcasts there are out there, but I don't think any of them are leading with PR and Hennie Duplessis before we touch on Bay Hill playoff at quote unquote Arnie's place. God, we heard that about 100 times at the broadcast.
I mean,
Jack's place, Arnie's place.
I gotta say,
yeah,
I love Rickie. I'm done with the Rickie Arnold Palmer stuff.
What stuff?
I've reached my max at 15 years. It's been 15 years. I've listened to the Arnie Rickie stuff for 15 years of my life, and I can't do it anymore. I can't do it anymore. I love Ricky Fowler. I love Arnold Palmer, but I cannot do the Ricky Arnie Palmer thing anymore.
What a declaration. I think it's because aren't they both have like Puma Association, like the estate of Arnold Palmer, like they keep making Arnie stuff, and and so then Rickie gets the Puma gear and there's a one-off activation for Arnold, and they just
and then he's on TV and Hicks brings it up, and then there's the comp of the two guys.
Wait, what comp? What? The careers?
No, it's just
to the people.
Their graciousness, their popularity.
Yeah. Okay.
And I just have heard it this week every year, every single year for 15 years. I've heard this, and I can't do it anymore. I'm done. I'm done with it.
What a random, I love it. Random declaration. I like it. I'm done with Artie's place. It's just, all right. It's Bay Hill. We got it. And I'm out. Other ejection. I can't do any more with the commercial. I've worked since I was 2 years old. And Rory, the players that come before us, and Fleetwood, they're up there, and I want to get up there. They got to stop playing that. It's 100 times the broadcast. 100 times the broadcast. I can't do it anymore.
Can I?
With the PGA Tour ad, the house ad.
You know what I find humorous about this, and I think I'm right about this, but I haven't asked anybody, so I'm going to ask you now. The Scottie line where he's like, I've worked since I was 2 to be a professional golfer. Wasn't that the preamble to the mud ball? To him bitching about mud balls?
Oh, I'm not sure.
I think it was. Like, because he's like, I've worked since I was 2 years old to be a professional golfer. And I believe that he was like, to control the ball, like to be able to control the ball.
He did have a line like that.
I think that's I thought that
would be
I'm
amazing.
Fairly certain that's the setup to him just dumping on mud balls at last year's PGA Championship.
Oh, we're gonna have to get in the transcripts and find it. I thought it could have also been during nihilistic Scottie, where the next clause is, and none of this matters. But they aren't keeping that in the ad. None of it matters. Why do I care? Maybe it's the mud ball one. There was one too about at CJ Cup too, where it's like I dreamed of winning this since I was a kid. Who knows? We'll find out. We'll pick that up. Would be delightful if it was about mud balls complaining.
Did you see Scottie's ball got stuck in the tree on the par 3?
Yeah.
What did you think of the added trees on that par 3?
I didn't really understand it. Like, why are we doing this? Felt kind of random. Or I guess it didn't end up being random. They got in there, got in the paint, altered the shot, got in the way. Bay Hill, just a delightful punch in the face. You got JT complaining, you got Spieth complaining about no friction on the greens. We've got firmness that, we were very worried might go out with a quick deluge we got Saturday afternoon, but it was back in decent shape by Sunday. According to Sam Saunders, was concerned that, we just lost everything we worked for. But it had the boy, and this I feel like is another annual tradition. We walk out of there and there's complaints about being pushed and tested and conditioning and firmness and rough height and this week it seems to be lack of friction on the greens. Jordan Spieth had a quote to the post game in the post game press conference, said, this is the only place that's like this anymore. He said, you missed your eagle putt, you left a bunch short. He goes, there's no friction on the greens. They're not wicked fast. I've just not adjusted. I've left 15 putts short in 36 holes. He goes, it's the only place. They asked him, where else is it like that? So this is the only place. Occasional U.S. Opens get like this, which we've heard about. And I guess before they overseeded at the Honda, you get like this at the Players in May, but no one really leaves it dormant and lets it die anymore. Dormant Bermuda, everybody overseeds. This is pretty much all that's left, I think. And this comes on the back of Justin Thomas, I think after he shot 79 on Friday, said I'd come out here to practice because he had 2 days off, but it doesn't really make sense to putt on these greens. I mean, there's zero chance that they're going to be alive Sunday. They seemed alive. I think they're okay. Maybe they're dead.
I think
Maybe
these guys
dead.
react to what's a dead putting green.
They are dead. They are so dead already. This was Friday. So that is one good thing about not playing here this weekend, because it is going to suck. It's going to be really hard. I don't know. Seemed like it was decent enough. Wasn't like everybody was shooting in the 80s. And it was, they've got fake par fives like at 16, where, you've got guys hitting 7 irons and 6 irons. You can make an eagle there. So it wasn't that possible. The greens thing, though, the bunkers, there are a preponderance of fried eggs out there. And we've heard, remember,
I love that. I loved that. Getting in the paint.
Real, you don't know what you might
Berger.
Get. Yeah. You don't know what you might get. We've heard that for years. It wasn't that Bryson was overheard. It's like every year, these are worst bunkers on tour. Remember when they caught Bryson on a hot mic talking like that? There were a lot of fried eggs.
We talk about PGA Tour setup a lot. And the setup teams, kind of goal is to have every PGA Tour stop feel like a Marriott, where you check in and you know exactly what you're getting in a given week. There's a couple tournaments that are allowed to deviate from the Marriott approach, and this is one of them. BP, what would you describe as this? If regular PGA Tour World's Marriott, what are they checking into this week?
I mean, by their standards, where they're used to being pampered, maybe it's an Econo Lodge. I don't know, with a little grit and grind to it. I'm not suggesting Mr. Palmer, Arnie's Place are sort of this substandard, Fleabag motel. But in terms of, if you're used to being pampered, we could call this, maybe you have to rough it a little bit. Find your way in the world.
It's I think it's a very unique event in the sense, maybe it's in the wrong spot in the calendar. Maybe it's not the perfect way to showcase the players, the gold standard, when they go, and it's like an easier event than the week before, less testing.
Well, that's a player's problem then. The deal with sack up.
I think that some of the players probably are a little gassed when they leave here and go over to Ponte Vedra, and maybe that's a little problem. Maybe there needs to be a little space between the two. But I love that there's one event on the PGA Tour that year in, year out just tries to go out and jam the players. I love Sam Saunders talking about, we didn't get the golf course quite to where we wanted to.
Right.
If it hadn't rained, I think we would have gotten there. But the idea of the golf course still had not, these guys are bitching and moaning, and the golf course still hadn't got there. I'm fine with this once a year. I'm fine with it.
The cut was 2 over. The winning score was 15. I know par is irrelevant. 15 under. This isn't
it's a par 72.
Yeah. The 16 is not a par 5, but whatever.
Think about if they Summerlin modeled this place. They could get this down to par 70, and then the winning score 7.
You know what? There's just these guys can't help themselves with the comments. You know what we got? Akshay Bhatia, who's been a very good player. Daniel Berger, who's a quality pro, been injured a lot, a Ryder Cup eligible hitter, a tee to green ace when he's healthy. Ludwig, we don't need to say no more. Ludwig reemerging, another real hitter. Cameron Young, Colin Morikawa, Sahith Theegala getting back in the saddle. Russell Henley, these are real hitters. This isn't, some random showing up and just being able to shoot 64 with impunity, with no penalty for missing fairways or being imprecise or being able to, not hit the ball high. You had to be a real hitter. Cameron Young, Morikawa, these are the names. These are the strikers. These are real hitters within the top 10. I'm not going to let the course agitation,
when you make something more demanding, it requires, the players that are more apt. Cameron Young is a great example of major championships. And I'm not saying this is a major championship test, but it it is one that's actually demanding, where there are repercussions for hitting the ball in the wrong spot. As we saw perfectly illustrated with Daniel Berger on 18 in regulation. He hits it to the right, which is the bad angle, the poor angle, to be in the rough. If he was on the left side in the rough, he probably would have had a chance to try and attack the green. But he's sitting there, and he had a good enough lie. The caddy conversation was great. That was
Both
awesome.
Times. Great combo.
It took a long time, but, he finally figured out what he was going to hit.
The regulation one?
Yeah.
They're both long. The regulation one was pretty, tedious, exceedingly long.
Would have been even more intriguing if there was a shot clock that he had to get the shot off in time for. But anyways, I digress. He's in a bad spot. He hit it to the wrong side. And I feel like with normal PGA Tour firmness of the greens, he probably might have thought about taking that on. But because of how fiery the greens are, he's in a bad angle. And he's at a bad angle, and he has to lay up. And then he makes this gritty up and down to save par and force the playoff, which I was talking to somebody this week when I was playing golf. I feel like whenever you take your medicine, you almost are always rewarded. You always get up and down. And it was great to see that unfold on Sunday. When you're irrationally smart, because that moment just makes you do stupid stuff. Golf just always makes you do stupid things. It just is a challenge to be rational. And almost so that you feel like you're being irrationally cautious. But when he does that, he makes it up and down. But it's a great illustration of hey, if you weren't in the right spot, you aren't going to be able to hit the green and just 2-putt away from 25 feet. That's the thing. The issue with, I think, week to week on tour is these guys get in bad spots, and their bailout is I hit it to 45 feet and 2-putt.
I mean, he hit 2 very bad drives and had to really work and to save par, and then in the other case lost the tournament. And he hit a horrible drive there this morning when they restarted the third round. Clearly not a hole. I don't like that hole that much. I think it's it was clear that a 5 was what was going to be the breaker. It was. I guess somebody could make a 3, but Akshay came close. But
I like it
clearly,
because it actually can lead to variance. Unlike, Toronto's par 5 that we watched 10 times last year.
It can decide something quickly, but he clearly cannot. He does not like that tee shot. He was so good for pretty much the whole week, and then just all 3 times today, awful. Doesn't go anywhere and offline. So
I think, and people are going to run and be like, "Hey, Akshay didn't hit the ball well. Akshay did this with smoke and mirrors."
Putting.
I will say that he had a generational tournament for 63 holes. It was a never seen before putting and chipping display in terms of the strokes gained numbers were off the charts. And people will look at the aggregate numbers and be like, he did not hit it well. I don't know what his exact numbers were on the back 9 on Sunday, but that kid absolutely flagged it. He was so good on the back 9 tee to green. He missed 1 fairway in the 10 holes. If you add in the playoff hole, missed 1 fairway, 2 greens. He was absolute nails coming down the stretch. And that's, one of the things you love about golf is when it comes to winning time, when it's the back 9 on Sunday, there was no way he was going to get it done. He wasn't going to track down Berger unless his ball striking completely flipped from what it had been all week. And he turned it on and did it. And that, to me, this was a super impressive win for Bhatia.
Birdied 10, 11, 12, 13 when it was 5 shot. I was like, this is kind of bad of that. I thought it was this isn't a very fun Sunday. No disrespect to Berger. If he won by 5, we'd hail the praises. But in terms of theater, it was kind of slow. But then he birdies 4 in a row to get close. Gives one back at 15, and then hits what he said, the 6-iron, best 6-iron of his life, essentially.
That was awesome.
Right on top of the flag for the eagle. I mean, Berger, He gassed his putt at 17 and then could not simply get off the tee on 18. It's not like he gave it to him, but he also helped. He helped Akshay down the stretch to at least get it to overtime.
I think where he made the turn, if you told him he shoots even par, he probably thinks he wins 90% of that time.
Akshay went and got it. Yeah, that's fair.
And I think he played probably a little too conservative. There were moments where he was in really good positions with wedges that it seemed like he was like, hey, you could even hear the announcers like, hey, that's good with a 3-4 shot lead. That's fine.
Right.
Right. And I think like this is the thing. Bhatia closed and took it to him, but Berger, I think that's where like the great closers in the game don't make it about necessarily like holding on to their lead. Yeah. They create like almost additional challenges along the way in their head where they're like, okay, let's play this next 3, 1 under. Let's play these holes, as opposed to thinking about, hey, I've got the. I think playing with a lead is like one of the hardest things in golf.
Yeah,
because you get complacent and you get conservative and you stop doing what you were doing. He was the best approach player all week, and his approach play on the back nine, it was really good in a lot of spots, but in a couple of spots it felt like he was a little conservative.
He obviously built much of his lead on the first 2 rounds. I wouldn't say he like fell off at all on the weekend. It was just, you're not going to shoot 63 or mid 60s all 4 days there. And then Akshay went and got it. Did this fundamentally change anything about how you view Akshay? It's his 3rd win. He's won Texas Open and Akuta, I believe, and then this is a signature event. I think, even before he came back and won it, it felt like he should. I know some people might holler about the ball striking number. It wasn't like he hits foul balls off the tee. He misses fairways. His approach play, though, rose to the occasion. Obviously, he had a chipping and putting week for a life. But I feel like he's just a birdie. His birdie rate is high. He's obviously a very strong putter, gets very hot with the putter. He feels like someone that should be, because it's a President's Cup year, it should be a very, very, very viable option for that. And someone who you should start getting in the mix and those kinds of moments.
I wanted to check in and give everybody where he was going to be on the world rankings. But our guy Nosferatu's still down.
Hacked. Where is he now?
Guys still have his account.
What is he now, Akshay?
He was 38 coming into it, so he'll be top 20.
Okay.
I love Ludwig, but
he's younger than Ludwig by a couple of years.
Yeah. So Bhatia's 24. Ludwig was an old 23-year-old when he made the Ryder Cup team for the first time. It's just like a reminder of there are players that have turned pro super young. Bhatia, obviously, right out of high school. Joaquin Niemann turned pro right out of high school. Blades Brown will be in this boat. Aldrich Potgieter. These guys, the amount of things they do before they get to the age of everybody's next can't miss kid. Mm-hmm. I mean, Akshay Bhatia is the same age as like David Ford.
Right.
And he has 3 wins. He's played in a final group at a Players. He's played in probably, I don't have the number right in front of me, probably played in 10 major championships. He turned pro because he was better than all of his peers.
Junior golfer. Yeah.
So I think Bhatia, I remember I posted a poll, who's going to have a better career when it's all said and done, Ludwig or Bhatia, last year during the Players. And I was laughed to the moon, like 90-10 Ludwig, but you never can underestimate age. This is it's become such a huge part of drafting whether it's NFL or NBA, like the age really matters. We need to start talking about these young pros with age. Like if they're coming out of PGA Tour U as a 5th-year senior, they're super old. Like Chris Gotterup's 26. He's had an amazing run here. But Bhatia has 2 more years of tour golf to get to where Chris Gotterup is right now. And they're equal, I think Chris Gotterup probably is a better player right now, but in 2 years, I don't know who's going to be a better player.
He's certainly, what I love is, and this is like the intangible thing, is like he does seem to knuckle down when I don't know, bogey save on 1 was crazy. Like he needed that, right? I just think like he does seem the 60-footer on 11. That's like just a bonus deal, right? And it comes in a point of being hot. But I don't know. It feels like a guy that you want taking 12-foot putts in team events, quite frankly, or in the heat of the battle after watching him now. And then there is that, he came out this morning and quickly gets like 2 more birdies. Sorry, on top of Berger, lets the one fall in the lip. I don't know. It feels like he's on certainly a very impressive trajectory and beat those names we just talked about, whether it's Ludwig, Cameron Young, Berger, head to head. Winning's really hard, and he seems to have a pretty good knack for it at a super young age. I did think he was cooked there on 18 or on the playoff because of Tracer. Just a line Tracer gave me a moment like my heart skipped a beat. I was like, oh my God, he hit it into the grandstands left of the green. It was way off. And then the Bones, whoever comes, it's like, oh, it's great. Middle of the green. It's like, what? Doesn't look like it on the line. That was a big win for your case that Tracer is just a line and may actually misrepresent what's going on. But one other thing I'd add on Akshay. This is a guy that was like 3 months ago, I think pretty serious dalliance with LIV, right? Yeah. Like a guy off season you hear about was like talking to him, negotiating, maybe going, backing out. I mean, you just think about maybe it would be all sunshine and roses over there, but that obviously makes things harder to elevate yourself, right, on world golf just by virtue of the world rankings and the schedule and where you're at. Now he's got a signature win, and like he's, bona fide one of the top 10 to 15 Americans now on the PGA Tour with a P Cup coming later this year. So a massive sort of either or decision moment from a few months ago, and it seems to be working out well playing the tour. So.
I mean, Joseph came out with like a article this week about players under, I think it was 25.
Yep.
Potential for bona fide star. Absolutely. I think this kid has it. Just an anecdotal piece last year at the Players where he had that disaster of a front nine.
Right.
People forget you'll always remember how bad he was. He missed some short putts. He hit it wherever he hit it on 5. Remember, he was like basically like on the range or something on 5.
Yeah.
It was a disaster, but he got it together, played a good back nine to finish T3. Like that, he was bad tee to green. I've done the work. I've done the data work. He gained almost 3 shots tee to green on the back nine after basically, being bad all week.
Not great. No.
Tee to green. So just like a super impressive, like when it mattered, when it counted most, gets it together. And likewise yesterday afternoon, he was really good tee to green yesterday afternoon too.
I mean, he's the top 25 player this year on the approach too. It's not like he's a bad iron player. He wasn't great this week, but picked it up when he needed to on the back nine. I think off the tee is where he really hit some foul balls that wreck your data and your rounds too. But a super impressive win. Bay Hill, I thought it was sluggish there in the middle, but another fun finish. Love to hear some of the complaints about the course conditioning though. Keep it up.
If you were taking guys in their, we'll call it in their mid to early 20s around him. Do you take Chris Gotterup's career if I say right now or him?
I think Gotterup's career.
I think I'd take Gotterup
major,
too.
Scottish, yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised though if he's better. Bridgman or him?
Akshay.
Same. Ludwig or him?
I mean,
we know.
I realize.
Hopefully, Akshay can get as comfortable of a ride to and from tournaments. That could be a game changer.
I mean, Ludwig has had opportunities that simply Akshay has not with the Ryder Cups. Am I allowed to factor that into Ryder Cup wins and experiences, home and away?
Yeah.
I think I would take Ludwig.
Okay.
Those experiences. So,
Gerard or him? I don't know exactly how old Gerard is.
2 Carolina boys, I think. I would take Akshay. Akshay, current career.
I know that a couple months ago we thought we were going to be talking about the PGA Tour before and after Michael Brennan, but Michael Brennan or Akshay?
Akshay. None of these guys.
Pearson Coody or Akshay.
This is his age group. Yeah.
That he's the brightest star, young star, and what I mean by young, sub 27-year-old on the PGA Tour. And I think I'd probably put Chris Gotterup ahead of him, but I would listen if you said, "Hey, Ludwig's is the biggest young star we have on tour right now."
Yeah, I don't know if he's become a world beater yet, but he is pretty consistently solid, right? There aren't these stretches where this guy just doesn't look like a pro, or I don't know if he should be on the big tour. He is pretty consistently solid, and maybe we're a year, because you said he's 24. Maybe we're 2 years from that world beater look coming. A great win. This is a huge win for him. Go ahead.
I think the big thing is majors.
Sure.
He hasn't done much at majors, but again, he's only 24.
Yeah. Another good Bay Hill Invitational. He was, I did the post round. They asked him about winning, Mr. Palmer's place. He did well, I'm a part of the MasterCard family, so I'm so happy to do this as a part of the MasterCard. Oh God, how heartwarming for the MasterCard family, the credit card family. He did then shout out Palmer and his legacy. But
did you play Mario Kart as a young adult?
Yes, of course.
Whenever I see his sponsor Koopa, I think of the Koopa Troopa Beach, the racetrack.
It's like a payments processor or something, a payment service. I don't know. Yeah, Koopa Troopa. Congrats to Akshay. Hat tip to Berger. That was tough. Tough. Doesn't want to hit that 18 tee shot anymore, but played well for much of the week. All right, we're gonna get through a ton of golf. We have the Puerto Rico Open you talked about. We have LPGA. We have LIV. But first, we're thinking about going to the Players. We're going to the Players tomorrow. We're going to be down at TPC Sawgrass. We will be there with Optum. They are supporting our coverage of the Players Championship. They are a proud partner of the Players Championship. They are making the healthcare system simpler, smarter, and more connected. Their capabilities include patient care, pharmacy services, health intelligence, and AI. Rory McIlroy is an Optum Health ambassador. Sounds like he needs some health work this week. So he's an ambassador.
He might use their prescription service.
The portal. Yeah. Their patient care services. So they will be our sponsor for the Players Championship. We are very, very excited to fly down there tomorrow. Are you out crack of dawn, San Francisco time, and then east, flying east?
Oh yeah. Got that 5 a.m. flight out of SFO. Nothing like it.
God. I mean, it's still probably better than a red eye, right? I mean, than doing the red eye, or when do you wake up?
I've mathed this all out.
Okay.
I'd much rather get up at 2:15 in the morning and go to bed at I'll just try and go to bed at 9, 10. I'm not getting better than 4 hours of sleep on a plane.
Yeah.
4 hours in your own bed's always going to trump 5 hours in a plane.
Yep.
But
I like it.
I land, I get into Jacksonville at 3. I have to connect.
You're up at 2:15. Yeah, that's still better than a red eye.
I get in at 3. The day is basically over. I get to Jacksonville Beach at 4.
No direct to Jacksonville from San Francisco.
Well, if we want to talk about like one of the things the tour has to do is you can't have a headquarters in Jacksonville Beach if you want to, or in Ponte Vedra Beach.
Oh
if
my
you want
God.
To be a serious sports league.
As you're about to go into the belly of the beast, are you calling these people onto the carpet? This community? I mean, you're gonna have Jags Twitter.
They should move the headquarters to New York.
And what? Can you have a major that doesn't? Can it be a major if there's no direct flight from San Francisco to your airport? I mean, you have majors that.
It's a great question.
I mean,
I can fly direct to Raleigh. I can fly direct to Raleigh, North Carolina.
But here's the good counter to that. You probably can't fly directly to Augusta, Georgia. And there's the primo majors there. So maybe that shoots a hole in the
Well, I can fly to Atlanta, and I can't fly anywhere where there's a 2-hour drive.
To Sawgrass. Interesting. Direct. Okay.
I can't get anywhere close to Sawgrass.
Okay. Well,
you know what's an even more unserious place to have a company headquartered?
Where?
Daytona Beach, Florida.
LPGA?
Yeah.
I mean, they make these decisions many, many years ago. And then the modern world.
Maybe don't build $1.5 billion of office space.
Well, now they have the SSG boys. Are these guys flying from Boston and New York and wherever, Atlanta? They got to go to Jacksonville and hear about how the big idea is the Marriott Hotel. We want to buy the Marriott in Jacksonville or Ponte Vedra Beach. That's
unsubstantiated rumor. I think they got outbid for the Marriott.
Well, maybe for the best. That's funny. Well, I mean, this was priority number one apparently in the meeting. We always got to get this hotel. God. All right. Well,
hey, big thanks to our friends at Optum.
We're making the trip.
They're a proud partner of this major
of the players.
That's right. You can't fly direct to
from some locales. I'm flying direct from DC.
Well, you can fly direct basically everywhere from DC.
We got that going for us.
It's like the equivalent of I'm trying to think of a West Coast Portland. It's the equivalent of having a major in Portland. Like there's only so many places that fly direct to Portland.
Fair. I don't know if I could get direct. Maybe there is direct to Portland. I'm sure there is.
And you also can't get close to Portland flying anywhere else.
Anywhere else. That's fair. It's fair. All right, we're getting there. Thanks to Optum. We're on the way. We will be there all week. Very excited to take in the Players' Championship.
Hey, so Scottie broke his first round hijinks issues.
Hex. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Are we now worried about the iron play?
You know. So he finished with like 2 double bogeys, I think, in his last 3 holes or something. I don't think I'm worried about the iron play.
Do you want a stat of where he's at in strokes gained approach this year?
Sure, please hit me.
Take a guess. What do you think it is?
Well, let's go 21, 17, somewhere in there.
57.
I was going to say, you're giving me like 55. That's strokes gained approach before this week.
I don't know if the tour stats update that fast. You would think they do, but
probably not.
You never know. This week he was, near the bottom of the field. He was like 44th in a 50-person field or whatever it is.
Look, since Amex, there have been a lot more loose shots, whether it be a first round at Riv or scattered about this week. It has not been the dominant Scottie standard. There have been stretches where he's going crazy and ham to like maybe make a late Sunday push. But to say I'm worried, I don't think is the level of alarm that I would raise. But there have been more loose shots than the most dominant stretches we've seen from Scottie.
Would like to still point out he's first in strokes gained total. So
right.
But
are you worried?
Listen, I think like, the discourse last year and into the beginning of this year, and like I said this after PGA West, like how does this guy not win 7, 8 tournaments, 6, 7, 8? How's this guy not? We had the tiers, the PGA Tour tiers anonymous survey. One of the big questions was Scottie, was he get to majors? And the consensus was like 8, 9, 10.
This is from players and coaches. And yeah, we're saying
and like, how does that not happen? How it doesn't happen is that his iron play fades. He gets like the short game yips, or he doesn't, like, one of these things becomes average, and then that's reverts him to like a 3 to 4 win a year player, and like a contender at majors, but not like the heaviest favorite week in, week out. So I don't think it's like, super alarming, but I don't, we're effectively a third of the way through the year.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, we're almost
to
April.
It's going to be,
or March.
It'll be one of his worst years approach in aggregate that he's ever had. If you go to 25, he was first in approach. 24, he was first in approach. 22, 23, he was first in approach.
I mean,
he's not going to be first in approach.
He won 2 major. I mean, he won 2 majors and multiple other tournaments after March 8th last year. I think there's time. I know it's a third over, but I think there's time. I'm not worried if it's first in approach or third, whatever. I'm not worried about it yet, but there's certainly some loose moments and loose hour stretches and
particularly
rounds.
With log irons.
Yeah.
Which, if you want to talk about what wins major championships, it's long iron play.
See what he does this week. I mean, it's interesting. This could be, there have been a few more signs of frustration, I would say, too.
Threw his ball in the water this week.
Just agitation, whether it be at Riviera, certainly at Bay Hill. So just a little bit. It's hard for me to like freak out when we see it. He's so good that finding it again seems like it's just a step away, and then all of a sudden he's winning 2 majors in like a 4-week stretch. So
that's the thing. It just hasn't clicked in.
Does seem like there's some more hitters like coming, like playing good golf again. When you talk about Ludwig, Colin Morikawa is, I don't know if he's back, but another really, really good week. I don't know, maybe a few more guys in his way at some of these majors. Cam Young, obviously, continuing. All right, that does it for Bay Hill. Another solid Bay Hill Invitational. Let's go to Puerto Rico Open. We've given it a handful.
Do we need to talk more about it?
No, that's next on my list. Congrats.
Do we have to talk about Dan Bradbury more?
No, I think we hit Dan Bradbury.
P. Reed, top 10.
Joburg Open. Henny Duplessis implodes. Casey Jarvis nearly went 3 in a row right there. So he continues to stay hot. LIV Hong Kong. Jon Rahm wins the individual. Says a weight has been lifted off his shoulders.
I'm so happy for Jon Rahm.
I've been very ecstatic for wins in the past. This one just feels like a big weight off my shoulder. So he wins the individual. The Aces win the team event. Dustin Johnson was asked, who were your teammates when you last won an event, which was 2023. He couldn't seem to name the other 3. I don't think it was any of the 3 that are currently there, Peters, Dietrich, and Kim, Anthony Kim. But he says, P. Reed was there. He's gone. See ya. Sorry to see him go. So that's your LIV Hong Kong breakdown. Does this change anything about Jon Rahm as he goes to war with the DP World Tour? He gets an individual win, his first in many, many months.
I mean, no.
Wins
Does
by
it for
3.
you?
No. Wins by 3, cruises. I think he shot 64 on Sunday.
I think I view him in the same vein of okay, if I was going to just like list off major favorites, it would be like Scottie, Rory, Jon Rahm, Bryson. You know, that's just where you would be whether he won or didn't win.
Yep. They are I don't know what's going to happen with LIV, but they're in the middle of going Hong Kong, Singapore, South Africa. You know, they've done Riyadh and Adelaide. And so, you know, I know they want to be more global on a global tour. It's just the majors are here. The majors are in America until July. And I don't know, we've got guys playing American venues, being stationed pretty, you know, in a small radius. It's just a lot of travel. Hong Kong, Singapore, South Africa, Riyadh, Adelaide, Disney World for Rahm's case too. So
listen, and like Bay Hill is not, I don't think it's not an architectural masterpiece, but playing a week like that is good for you in terms of getting ready for a major.
Probably
playing
good to be
a
in the
week
players.
where like you are going, the course is getting under your skin.
Mm-hmm.
As just an aside, and I know that there are a million things that matter way more than this in the general state of the world right now. But how lucky is golf that they aren't playing any Middle East events right now? Like that they basically got the golf in before this whole thing blew up, and again, that was not an unintended pun there. And obviously there's way more important things to consider. I just was thinking about it today. It's like, man, the golf was very lucky that like a tournament wasn't going on when this happened.
The European Tour got their stuff done in January, but we had heard, you know, the players were warned, like we may be going to Qatar, it may not be. Let's see, Bahrain. Certainly more important.
Way more important things.
Effects from the conflict that's going on there. But yeah, I know there are DP World Tour players stranded in Dubai and having a travel nightmares. And we heard of Rahm, you know, getting a lot of those guys out to Hong Kong. So yeah, they did get through that stretch. That's it for LIV Hong Kong. I don't have any other thing. Congrats to Rahm. On the LPGA, Mi-Han Lee won. She made a double bogey on the front, 2 double bogeys on the front 9, but nearly hits a stick with a wedge on the 18th to tap in a birdie and win. Shot 73, beats Weiwei Zhang at the Hainan Island event in China. I think they're done now with the Asia swing and coming back now. It's almost mid-March, coming back stateside on the LPGA. On the Korn Ferry Tour, Doc Redman wins by 5. That's a name we haven't seen in a while. Doc Redman, 2017 amateur winner, Walker, that all-time Walker Cup team, wins by 5 in the Astara Chile Classic, beats the brakes off the field. He's a guy who's been on tour, not been able to hang on to his card, been on Korn Ferry Tour, not been able to graduate back up. But he's 29 now. He gets a win. I don't think he's guaranteed a card just by winning, but certainly on the right path with it. So
maybe he's inspired by the Bridgeman.
Clemson, 2 Clemson Tigers.
Bridgeman, second best scoring average in Clemson history.
He wasn't.
You know who number 1 was?
Who?
Redmond. Doc.
Redmond scoring average.
Yeah, both of them were better than DJ Trahan, unbelievably.
You know who's DFL in Puerto Rico?
Oh.
Jonathan Bird. The Birdman was not flying in any weather.
He's just trying to spread his wings till he gets to the Champs Tour. Which
he's a clumsy
guy.
And
we were off. Our gambling pod was off. We touted the wrong guy.
The wrong guy. The wrong 50-year-old guy. Zach Johnson wins the James Hardie Pro Football Hall of Fame Invitational by 4 over Big Stu Sink.
I feel bad that PJ's not here.
I do too. He called it. Ben Crane was T31. Too bad for Ben Crane. Armour did not play well, but he's in the mix now. He's now just getting himself acclimated to the Champs Tour. Zach cruises. I mean, this seemed obvious, right? Seems obvious. Feels like when you show up at the youth basketball game and the other team has a kid in like 6th grade that's 6'7" and just playing down. Like, well, I think we know how this is going to go. I realize winning a golf tournament's a little more complicated than that. But Zach, who's been decently competitive on the highest tour in the world, PGA Tour, decently competitive, wins by 4 at the James Hardie Pro Football Hall of Fame Invitational.
He's got to be so happy to be up there.
Just, yeah, I would imagine.
I mean, you think about playing the tour in your late 40s, all your friends are gone. Like, you're playing with guys.
Wasn't he boys?
That are half your age.
He's in the boys club. JT, Speed.
But you're playing with guys that are half your age.
Yeah.
That are young enough to be your kid.
Akshay.
All your friends are gone. And then you go up to this tour. You gotta feel like you have a breath of fresh air. Like, you go back up there and you see the names on the board and you say, I bet there's a feeling of, I'm home. I'm back home.
Somebody, wasn't it Jacobson said they get a new lease on life up there? Like, it's a guy who got off death row and now I'm on the Champs Tour or something. Like, what are you talking about? I watched that Friday night. It was hilarious. Hilarious watch. I don't know how that ended up on my TV. It was tape delayed. Hilarious. Just grandstands pretty much on top of the green, backboarding balls on par 5s. Incredible. Zinger just letting it rip. It was good. Good watch on Friday night. Bob Papa on the call. Good stuff. The Champs Tour.
I feel like we got a lot of new Champs Tour players this year. Fresh crop. Georgie Boy O'Neill or
McNeil.
Georgie Boy McNeil.
He's a prominent in-out alternate subject. He's got to be new. McNeil, right? Just turned.
Jamie Donaldson.
Yeah, I saw him on the board.
Do you know what's the first thing you think of with Jamie Donaldson?
He's got a plaque in the fairway at Glen Eagles where he buried the American team, Ryder Cup 2014.
Do you want to know what the first thing I think is?
What?
Remember when a chainsaw mauled his hand?
Vaguely. I thought that was Norman. Greg Norman did that.
I think it's Jamie Donaldson too.
Okay. That's the first thing you think of with Jamie.
Yeah, he got a freak hand 2016.
Yeah.
He suffered an injury to his hand in a freak accident involving a chainsaw, and he posted a picture about it. And that's the only reason I remember is this grotesque picture of Jamie Donaldson's hand.
Well, now he's on the Champs Tour. I'm sure he's going to do well for himself too.
He said he was lucky to not lose his hand.
Yeah, I would imagine. Chainsaw versus your hand is not going to go well for the hand, I don't think. So, yeah, it's lucky to have it still. You need your hands as a golfer. Congrats, by the way. I'm sure it's Victory Monday for you. Are you familiar with Jimbo Covert?
Oh, yeah, the Bears player.
He won the AMs, the pros part.
Left tackle.
The James Hardie
Bears.
Jimbo Covert went 73-70 to win the non-pro division. Beat Lawrence Taylor by 2 shots. So the protection held up. He set the edge, LT, and beat him by 2 to win that.
The crazy thing about the Bears is you basically know everybody on the 85 Bears, even though it happened before I was born, because we haven't won since then.
Yeah.
And they are Chicago icons.
I got to say, I wasn't familiar with Jimbo Covert. I'm familiar with some names on that team, obviously, but he's one that I just, alignment. I think
he was an all-pro left tackle.
I looked him up. He was a good player for sure. Tough week for Ricky Jackson and Marcus Allen down near the end. All right, that does it for results, I think. We got KFT in there. Champs Tour. Players featured groups we noted. Joel Beal had an article where they're just going to try to make this a major, and Roleps, where is he going to spend his political capital? Is there a Big Bang theory that Joel proposed where you just do a bunch of big stuff all at once and throw it at? I mean, that might honestly Might be what our president said to just do it all. Just run the whole playbook at him. There, you can change the schedule.
Blitzkrieg.
What?
Century Blitzkrieg.
Yeah, change the schedule. Make the players a major. Take away the cards. New TV deal. Maybe he's just going to do it all right away. But they're going to make the players. They're going to slowly, subtly try to make the players a major. I'd say that hasn't been super subtle in the last month. But one detail in there they've pondered: could they invite LIV boys, extended invitation to LIV boys to the players to then more certify it as a major?
Certainly would help.
I mean, as soon as you do that, the drawbridge better go up because the mules will be marching to burn the place down. Can you imagine if you got an invite to a LIV guy and a card-carrying mule was left out of the Players' Championship? That would be a revolt.
All right, so they went down from 144 to 120 this year for the field.
Right.
If you invite the top 5 LIV players, do you do the mule march for so you get 15
you
back
add
in?
5.
So you go you're back up to 135.
Maybe that's what you do. You can invite them, but it's going to come with a cost.
The mule march.
You're going to have a. I mean, it's interesting. It's a little nugget within that article, but you kind of have to. If you want to be a major, you have to. Now they're in Hong Kong and they're all over the world this time of year, but make it work. So.
Well, they can come play if they want. They can fly from Hong Kong to. I don't know how you get from Hong Kong to Ponte Vedra.
Not a direct flight.
Not through SFO. I'll tell you that much.
I mean, we're not that far removed from, remember when Chubby Chandler kept his stable like essentially out of the players? Yeah. I mean, that was like, Rory didn't play it the one year. That was like a thing. Like, oh, this is just a PGA Tour thing. We're European players. We're not going to go. Westy wouldn't play it. It's interesting. So not that far removed. Maybe
Anthony Kim might be playing the players if they took the top 5 guys.
That'd be insane.
BP. I love the try it again mentality because the last time they tried to make it a major, it went really well.
I mean, they have Ludacris doing a concert in the middle of the course.
Is there a Creator Classic on Wednesday again?
I was thinking about that today. I
haven't seen anything.
No.
Did it get sunsetted? Did the Creator Classic get sunsetted?
It feels like it. I haven't heard anything about the Creator Council. That may also be kaput too. But
I think that's where the leaks go, where the embargoes go.
That could be. That was all timer. Is it a major if the players can't practice on the night before the afternoon before the tournament because you got YouTubers whacking it around out there? Can't practice. You got the Creator Classic.
Can't play the back nine late on the night before the tournament.
Well, I mean, 17th's going to be close too because you're going to have Luda.
Are you going to go to Luda?
I mean, what day is it? Wednesday night?
I think it's Tuesday night. Okay, or no, is it Wednesday night?
I don't know. Wednesday night I don't know. We'll see.
I'm not going to Luda. I saw Luda play in Champaign, Illinois when I was in college.
You've seen Luda. You've been there and done that. Okay. All right.
I don't need to see Luda again. I've checked that off my bucket list.
I think that's fair. All right, we're going to close it real quick. Masters fact of the day. This is from Bama Bearcat. Because you know what? The Masters fact of the day doesn't stop for the players. Just like they don't stop releasing their feature groups for Mr. Palmer's event, we're not going to stop Masters fact of the day for them. There are 41 greens on Augusta National's property. The golf course has 18. The practice green behind the clubhouse is 1. The par 3 course has 9. There's a par 3 practice green, members short game area, tournament short game area, driving range targets. There are 4 out there on that driving range. And then I think it's the tournament practice range, I believe is what it's called. And Berkman's Place has 3. And then corporate housing behind the 11th tee has 1. All 41 greens, this is, I would say, unsubstantiated, but probably close. All 41 greens are reportedly given the same high level of attention every single day. So
do you think they all have sub-air?
That's a good question. I would assume not. Maybe they do, though. I would assume not. But if they're given all the same high level of attention every day, 41 greens on the property. So give or take, I would just throw in as a caveat. That's your Masters fact of the day. All right, we're out of here. Another great week at Bay Hill. Can't wait to get to Sawgrass. We'll see you and talk to you on. Are we going live? Maybe TBD. Give PJ
We're going live.
Attack. Live Tuesday.
PJ's got a new camera, so we're not going to be recording on a webcam this year.
Okay.
That he's never used before, so it'll give him a panic attack.
Yeah, he's going to be anxious. Will the Wi-Fi at the Airbnb be up to snuff and all that?
PJ's got to do the rookie combine.
I think that's got to be a source of anxiety too. Got the rookie combine.
He's
the first
checking
timers
into his Airbnb right now.
Yeah, he's getting there right now. All right, we'll be live then. It seems like Tuesday, late-ish.
At some time.
Yeah, sometime probably certainly not before call it 4 p.m. Maybe somewhere in the 3 to 8 p.m. window Tuesday. Sometime we'll be live.
Just block off that whole 5-hour stretch in your calendar.
Just check YouTube.
Sometime in there, but it might run over if we start late.
Probably Thursday night after play too. I would guess we'll be live, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We'll talk to you then. Talk to you on Tuesday.